Your hair looks so majestic, like Billy's flowing in the wind. That's a good merch plug.
No, bullshit. I do some business with them.
You figuring anything out?
I must buy a lot from them.
Well, I don't buy
Looks like a racetrack,
but
with dirt on it.
Roger
Clay
Hamilton
on it.
That's it?
the top guy for Corn Main.
Oval?
Oh.
So
Round?
we have a lot of pipe sponsors. on
Wet
there.
and dirty? Just like how you like it?
So
Love it.
That's how that did. Then he raced pavement for a while.
You're getting in my shot, dipshit.
Well,
How was your
that
first?
didn't happen.
What, race pavement?
Yeah.
Mike's not picking up. Oh, there we go. They my crew chief?
Good.
Ooh, that's hot. I can't say that on camera. Special appearance by Ricky
What up,
on the vlog? Hey, easy. No gang affiliations on camera, dude. Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna dial down the Facebook page.
What do you mean?
Brent coming out of retirement to crash me.
That's what I heard. That was the rumor that Hunter told me.
Yeah, look who it's coming from.
Hey, it came though. It didn't come from my mouth. It came from the wind.
It ended up in your mouth. I don't know if I would be talking about that.
That's wet right there. Holy fuck.
What do you know about wet?
All about it.
About that walk.
Bet. Do it.
I don't want to fall.
Don't focus on falling. Focus on doing a fucking wheelie. You guys are pussy.
Transponders.
Hey, grab this bitch like you stole it.
Fuck yes. Nice. Blew another fucking ladder out of it.
What'd you do? Just slide it in there too hot or what?
We're gonna need those gears out of, or probably fucking. It's good. Alrighty, on to the Tulare vlog. I just did the Watsonville one. If you guys watched on Monday, it's Wednesday now, and yeah, we're just gonna be plugging away at these videos, and here we are. This was the heat race. I absolutely stuffed it in the fence, and I guess that's just a product of driving 110% all the time, and I'm gonna make uh-ohs. I make uh-ohs, and I stand by my uh-ohs, but thankful for Michael, Stevie, my parents, my mom, my dad. They all busted their ass, Jacob, and they were able to get me back on the racetrack. We weren't too confident in the race car, but everyone instilled enough confidence into me and allowed me to do my job and be a race car driver. And the car wasn't perfect. I have a lot of work to do this week, but I was able to execute and get ourselves into a transfer spot out of this heat race and get our time back and get ourselves a little further starting spot. But now into the kind of the fundamentals of Tulare. The curb is not a normal Tulare right now. It's very much so off the wall in 1 and 2, and it's slick up there on the fence and there's no curb. And that's also why I felt like I got into the wall. There just wasn't a curb for me to lean on or ramp up on. I felt like if there was a curb, that would have been a very well executed lap at Tulare that I had for qualifying, because I would have been able just to ramp up it and kind of just keep my right sides plugged in it. But that wasn't the circumstances for tonight, and yep, live and die on the sword. But as for 3 and 4 right now, the curb is very low and off the wall and big. Tulare very rarely gets like this where there's actually a curb like Placerville off of the fence, and it is tricky because you are still carrying the same amount of speed on entry and you're trying to hustle the thing as hard as you absolutely can. But it's treacherous because you're off the wall, and if you jump it, you're in the wall, and there's nothing to really ramp up the wall. So it's an uh-oh for your race car, it's an uh-oh for your team, and that's exactly what you guys saw in qualifying. But right now, we're just feeling things out. I'm trying to hunt down the guys in front of me, but I'm also very tedious and trying to feel out my race car and where it works, where it doesn't work, what we can do better, and just execute these laps. I felt like I was able to carry really good wing speed into 1 and 2, and that's why I was able to stick the middle bottom and just generate a lot of speed. And then as for 3 and 4, I felt like we were just a little loose on entry, or I had to lift and plug it into the curb just like that, and it was very tedious, but my car was not in an optimal condition, and I tried to stuff it in the fence right there after the checkered again too, because I wanted to test out the top. And yeah, almost made another uh-oh. It made my guys work twice as hard, but yep. Alrighty, take one, on to the feature. We are starting deep in this one because we did not get a qualifying lap and we did not march too far forward in the heat race. And this race I was definitely full of mistakes, and the GoPro didn't last long, and the GoPro also got caked with mud. So sorry guys, I make mistakes, I'm human, but I'm still going to be plugging away at these videos. I'm not going to stop doing them, no matter what the circumstances are. I'm going to keep on putting them out, and thank you guys for watching. But into what I could have done better in this race. Dominic Gordon was slow rolling the bottom, and I had guys on the outside of me. I didn't really want to pinch anyone and put them in a shitty situation, but Dominic was just so slow on the bottom, and I was trying to sneak underneath him, but there was just no grip, and he would hit all the grip off of the middle on the corners. Then he would chop my snout like that whenever I'd get a run on him, because he would just drive it in there so easy. And yeah, I just was kept on putting myself in a shitty situation after shitty situation. I should have just ripped the top, but finally he missed the bottom when the guys weren't above us because he tried to open up his entry or something, and we were able to stick the bottom right underneath him. And now we got to keep on logging laps and try and get around the rest of these guys that we let go by us. So we're already behind the 8-ball. And Braden Chiramani, that's how hard I wanted to drive it into the corner. And Braden was driving it in there pretty deep, but he would get a little bent out of shape, and here's where the GoPro gets caked in mud. But yeah, so I just wasn't able to execute the corners like I was out in front, and the track was really narrow here at Tulare, so I couldn't, not that I couldn't, I just wasn't very comfortable with doing all those sorts of things. And here we go on a late race restart. We're halfway through. I believe we've already done 11 laps. And now this is how I wanted to be running the corners. I wanted to be up on entry and then hit all the back straightaway grip and pretty much dive it into 3 and 4. And just hopefully clear some of these guys on these sliders. But I actually stuck the middle right there. That was not terrible. We were able to squeak right by Dominic, and then now I have clean and open air, and I can kind of execute the bottom how I feel like I need to execute the bottom. But the slider line, I felt like I could just stick it so good, and it was crazy amount of grip. But it just wasn't as fast as the top, because the top you just have so much momentum, and there was just so much grip everywhere because they reworked the track before both features. But the car was pretty good for the circumstances that we were dealt, and now that Joel's not on the bottom in front of us, I can start throwing haymakers on Bud. I'm just trying to clear these guys, put them in positions where they have to drive the car harder and maybe make a mistake, and that's pretty much what's going through my mind right now, is I'm just trying to get as close as I can to these guys and just throw a slider and hope that it sticks. And the curb is just so treacherous in 1 and 2. when I see these guys, or in 3 and 4, but when I see these guys racing, I know that this is a golden opportunity because they're going to be screwing their corner up just like I did with Dominic Gordon. So I know that they have nowhere near as much momentum as me. So we throw a big bomb, get up into the curb, maybe a little bit of Bud, and then now Bud and I are wheeling and dealing. Chance gets back by me. I hit the bumps. I get a little sideways, and that was just an uh-oh on my part from a poorly executed slide job that didn't really work out in my favor. And now I'm trying out the slider line with clean and open air, and you guys can obviously see that just didn't work. So that was a no-no in my mind because I just lost so much time. But now I can finally open up my corner, get the wing down, get some wing speed going, and I can get back up to the top in 3 and 4 and just try and generate that momentum. But you can even see Bud and Chance in front of me getting all bent out of shape on the curb just because it's so treacherous when it's off the wall like that. You can't ramp up it. You can't really attack it like a typical Tulare. It's very different. But Bud manipulates his corner wrong right there, and then he's also short sliding himself. So this is a golden opportunity for me to throw a big bomb, hit the curb, hit the grip, and just generate a bunch of speed coming off the corner, and then drive it in really deep into 1 and 2 to seal my fate off with this spot. And now it's time to just keep on executing these laps and get back up to the top, get the momentum rolling, be very cautious because you don't want to get above that curb and you're in the fence at that point and you're screwed. But it was definitely very locked down at Tulare. I felt like there was not too many grooves. The slicker this track gets, it's usually the more raceable it gets because you can throw big sliders, people make more mistakes. You can run the curb harder than the guy in front of you because you can ramp up it in different spots to them and kind of attack the corners different than they are. But when it's kind of juiced up like this, it's really hard to generate speed and pass guys and move around. As you guys see in the second feature, everyone pretty much started where they finished except for Tim. Congrats to Tim and the Morgan Williams team. That's actually really cool that the 0 won their race. That was really awesome to see. But as for us, this was not the weekend that we were really looking for. There was a lot of controversy, a lot of bent parts, 2 junked rear ends, 3 or 4 ladders, nose wing, a bunch of bolt-on parts, and yep, but that's the name of the game. But this would not be possible without my crew guys. As I said before in the other video, Michael, Stevie, Jacob, my dad, my mom, none of this would even be remotely possible without any of them. It was definitely a chaotic and wild couple of 2 weekends, but now we have an off weekend and we're running Chico in the 7C, and then we're back in the 3 for the posse shootout coming up. So sorry for the black screen. I'm just going to cut this. I'm ready to go lay in bed. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm tired. I worked on my race car all day, and I've been editing all day, and yeah, it's 6:30 now, but both videos are going to be done. Probably not a bunch of content on the Facebook, but a bunch of pictures, and as always, thank you guys for watching.